Good morning, it's Karen, and today I would like to show you how to make a very basic, very simple card. I chose a holiday card because it's the time of year to be thinking about that, and a lot of my stampers are new to this, so I wanted to pick something that they could use right now and that they could use for other times of the year. So to get started, I would like to just show you, this is our Home for the Holidays paper, the Holly Berry, and on the back it has a very cute reindeer pattern, and it even has a couple that have a red nose for Rudolph. There are other patterns in that, but it could take me all day to show you everything I want to show you, so I'll save that for another day. But again, Home for the Holidays, super cute, very retro. If you're my age, you'll remember a lot of these patterns from your gift wrap and stuff. So anyway, I did one with some bling on it, because some people really like a lot of bling, and one type of greeting. And I did the other one with more of a kind of a loose handwriting, modern kind of feel. And I just used candy dots instead of the Jewel Basic rhinestones. So to get started, I did have one piece of equipment. It's probably the most basic piece of equipment besides your stamps and your ink that you'll need. It's a Stampin' Trimmer. One thing I do really like about this is you have one blade to cut and one blade to score. Our trimmers are super sturdy, and except for the blades, you'll never need another trimmer. And depending on how much cutting you do, your trimmers, your blades can last quite some time. So first off, I took a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I cut it in half at 5.5 down the 11-inch side. Then I took it and I took my Stampin' Trimmer and put it at 4.25, because that's halfway on the 8.5-inch side, and I just scored it with my scoring blade. Then when I folded it, I lined up my edges like that. And once your edge is lined up, you just run your finger along the score line, and it folds super easy. I took my bone folder along the edge, and this is where I just kind of go all the way over it with my bone folder. Sometimes when you have a new blade, it makes kind of really a little ridge along the edge of it, and that'll just help to lay it down. So anyway, the next thing you'd like to do is your pattern paper. Again, Home for the Holidays. And I cut that at 4.25. I cut it at 1/4 of an inch less all the way around, so it'll just give you a nice little border and frame out your card. And I took my real red at 2.25, and I took it very vanilla, which is the base I'm using, and I cut that at 2. So I have 2 by 2.25 inch bigger to frame it out at 2.5. And you can see how that starts coming together. So no matter what pattern you use, what colors you use, this is super easy for anybody just starting out. Plus I gave you the dimensions. And I am using a set from our holiday catalog 2015 called Handmade for the Holidays. And I'll be using Love, Peace, Joy. And this has a bunch of them that you could use for any time. It has a little something for you. That could be if you were going to put your card on a gift, thinking of you, grateful for you. And some people do like to give a Halloween card for their grandkids. Okay, this is a clear mount stamp. And the reason why they call it clear mount is because it is mounted on a clear acrylic block. Sometimes people get it confused with photopolymer, which is a see-through stamp. So because you can see through it, it would seem obvious that you'd call it clear. But it is made from a different material. It's called photopolymer. And the difference between a clear mount block and a wood mount block basically is the block. The wood mount blocks have a piece of wood that you have your stamp on and it stays on permanently. And the clear mount block has the acrylic block and you can switch them out for your stamp sets. So once you have the blocks, it's a little bit more economical. And if you're going to be doing a lot of stamping, I recommend that you start with the clear mount blocks and the clear mount stamps, because this is interchangeable with the photopolymer. And I went and I centered this on the best I could. I took a small piece of washi tape and I rolled it, because sometimes your block is a little bit dirty, or your stamp, the back of it isn't completely clean, and these tend to fall off. So I just take a little tiny piece of washi tape and I roll it and I put that on the stamp. To keep it in place. If you have too big of a piece, it wiggles too much and you won't get a clean image. But just save yourself some frustration. Take some washi. We all know washi is super cheap. And I'm just inking it. I always test it on a scrap piece of paper. If I'm happy with it, I ink again. And I'm going to go ahead and put that as close to the center as I can get it. All right, so that's just a third look. And now I'm going to take my snail adhesive. Oh, a little ink on there. I have to clean my table when we're done. And I'm going to try something a little different on this one. First of all, when you are doing your snail tape, you don't need a lot of tape for it to stick to the card. A lot of times people fill up the whole back and then they wonder where their tape went. And they say, oh, there's not enough tape on these. But I guarantee you've got plenty of tape on your card. So just do your corners a little bit in the center. You want your corners to lay down. Center your piece of designer paper or pattern paper on the top. And I am going to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to embellish this one with the candy dots. And I'm going to use the real red this time. I always use my paper snips to lift it. You get a nice a nice pointy tool, and you want to make sure you get that adhesive off. And for this one, I will put it right here. It's saying, put one right here. And I'm just trying to show you a couple different ways that you can use your same basic design. To make a lot of different cards. All right, so that's very pretty. I think I have that centered. If your cards come out off, don't worry about it. Do the best you can. People are going to be thrilled that you took the time to make a card for them. They're not going to be concerned about if your stamping is perfectly straight or anything. They're going to be just extremely excited that you took your time to make a card for them. All right, I put my real red square down. And now I am going to use my dimensionals to lift the card. So I'd like to say that I really like our Stampin' Dimensionals. It's okay if you don't like them. I've had people comment about how you can get so many dimensionals, say at a dollar store, but they're sticky dots, and I always believe that you can find cheaper, but you can't find better when it comes to Stampin' Up. And the reason I like our dots is, or our dimensionals, see, they even have me calling them the wrong thing. See how thin those are? Most of your sticky dots are super tall, and if you like that look, it's okay. But I do like my things to look as if they were planned to be raised up instead of something just falling on my card and it doesn't really belong there. So here's my version for today. Love, peace, joy. You can stamp something on the inside, whatever you'd like. This was the one from yesterday, but I messed up the video because when I did my test stamping, I did it on a piece of scrap paper that had my friend's phone number on it, and I didn't want to put that out on the internet. So I had to redo it, and this was the original version of my card. But you can see you can get 3 different looks, same technique, very simple, very easy. If you ever have questions, you could put them in the comments below. I will try to get to them as quickly as possible, but I do have a group on Facebook. It's Creativity Blossoms, and you can ask to join. So I hope you have a great day and you enjoyed learning how to make these very basic cards. Thank you.